We're going to turn now to our town hall last night with President Trump. He took questions from a mixed group of voters in Pennsylvania, many who supported him in 2016. All were still making up their minds at the start of the town meeting last night. And we covered the big issues from COVID to health care, the economy, and race. Our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, is in Philadelphia with the highlights. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, George, good morning to you. Yeah, these were really tough questions from these uncommitted voters here in this crucial battleground, some of whom say they made up their minds after what they heard last night. Overnight, President Trump face-to-face with those uncommitted voters.
Why did you throw vulnerable people like me under the bus?
Why don't you wear a mask more often?
Please stop and let me finish my question, sir.
His handling of the pandemic under fire from the beginning.
If you believe it's the president's responsibility to protect America, why would you downplay a pandemic that is known to disproportionately harm low-income families and minority communities?
Yeah. Well, I didn't downplay it. I actually, in many ways, I upplayed it in terms of action.
This is the opposite of what he said in a recorded conversation with Bob Woodward.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
The president also contradicting what even his own health experts say, still insisting COVID will just disappear.
It's going to disappear.
But not if we don't take action, correct?
No, I still say it. It's going to disappear, George. We're going to get back to it.
Will it go away without the vaccine?
Sure. Over a period of time. Sure. With time, it goes
away. And many
away.
deaths.
And you'll develop like a herd mentality. We're rounding the corner, and I believe that's strong.
As you know, Dr. Fauci disagrees with that.
Well, I mean, but a lot of people do agree with me.
When pressed about masks,
Why don't you support a mandate for national mask wearing?
he instead criticized his opponent, Joe Biden.
And a good question is you ask, like Joe Biden, they said, we're going to do a national mandate on masks.
He's called on all governors to have them. It is a state responsibility.
No, but he didn't do it. I mean, he never did it.
Even though Biden has no such authority. And as the country approaches the grim milestone of nearly 200,000 Americans dead.
So you regret nothing?
No, I think we did a great job.
The president also on the defensive over health care.
Mr. President, I was born with a disease called sarcoidosis. And from the day I was born, I was considered uninsurable. I want to know what it is that you're going to do to assure that people like me who work hard, we do everything we're supposed to do, can stay insured.
We're going to be doing a health care plan very strongly and protect people with pre-existing conditions. I will say this. They will not do that because they have socialized.
I have to stop you there.
Socialized
I just have to stop you there because it's just on a couple of points. Number one, Joe Biden has ran against Medicare for all in the primaries, but much more importantly, Obamacare guaranteed people with pre-existing conditions could buy insurance. You fought to repeal Obamacare. You are arguing.
Well, I essentially did.
You're arguing in the Supreme Court right now to strike it down. That would do away with pre-existing conditions.
So that we can do new health care.
But you've been promising a new health care plan. I interviewed you in June of last year. You said the health care plan would come in 2 weeks. You told Chris Wallace that this summer it would come in 3 weeks. You promised an executive order on pre-existing.
You're going to have new health care. And the pre-existing condition aspect of it will always be in my plan. And I've said that loud and clear.
But you haven't come up with it.
And this pastor, born and raised in Philadelphia, taking this moment of racial reckoning directly to the president and not letting up.
You've coined the phrase, make America great again.
Right.
When has America been great for African Americans in the ghetto of America? Are you aware of how tone deaf that comes off to African American community?
Well, I can say this. We have tremendous African-American support. You've probably seen it in the polls. We're doing extremely well.
Well, I mean, your statement is, though, make it great again. These things have historically been happening for African-Americans in these ghettos, and we have not been seeing a change. Because you say, again, we need to see when was that great, because that pushes us back to a time in which we cannot identify with such greatness. And I mean, you've said everything else about choking and everything else, but you have yet to address and acknowledge that there's been a race problem in America.
So if you go, well, I hope there's not a race problem. I can tell you there's none with me, because I have great respect for all races, for everybody.
And when it was over, we followed up to ask the question.
I gotta ask, who are you voting for? Do you know?
Man, well, I'll say it won't be Trump. I'll say that, weigh my options, still undecided.
As of right now, if I had to vote tomorrow, absolutely it would be for Mr. Trump. He really showed that human side to him, and that's really what I was looking for.
Well, Joe Biden, he certainly was quick to fire back, especially at that suggestion that he didn't himself implement a national mask mandate. He tweeted saying, to be clear, I am not currently president, but we can change that in November. So now, George, we look ahead to this first debate later this month. Joe Biden says he started preparing. President Trump, George, he says he thinks his best practice is his day job.
Okay, Cecilia, thanks very much. Let's go more on this from John Carl right now. And John, maybe that town meeting last night was a form of debate prep for President Trump, an unusual forum for him.
This is something we almost never see, George, to see the president interacting with voters who were not his most loyal and enthusiastic supporters. And to his credit, he did not do what he often does when he faces tough questions from reporters in the briefing rooms. He did not lose his cool. He listened. He engaged. That said, he did almost nothing to talk about his vision for a second term, and nothing to overcome what is his biggest weakness in this race, and that is his handling of the pandemic. In fact, as you heard in Cecilia's piece, he once again suggests that it will just go away even without a vaccine. That is not going to overcome the doubts that a lot of voters have about how serious he is taking this.
And John, we have some brand new polls out this morning from 2 key states.
Yeah, this is, on one hand, some not good news for the Trump campaign, and then some terrible news for the Trump campaign. So first, Wisconsin, you see he's down 6 points. That's a state he won last time, pretty much needs to win this time in almost any scenario. And then Minnesota, which he lost last time, he is down 16 points. That is the Trump campaign's #1 target, to pick up a state that he did not win last time. And the bottom line, George, is I've been tracking these statewide polls. In every battleground state that the campaigns say that they will determine this election, Donald Trump is either tied or losing. He is playing defense everywhere. He's done it before and won, but that's a tough place to be as an incumbent.
Less than 50 days to go. John Carl, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.